This is a floor tile in my laundry room. It has a piece that is cracked and is loose. I don't have any extra tile or I would replace this whole piece, so instead let's see if I can repair it. Whoever laid this tile didn't put mortar all the way to the edge, so whenever I put weight on this at some point, it must have just snapped. I have some mortar laying around from another tile project, so I'm just going to mix that up and create a tiny little mortar bed under this chip. You know how sometimes when you have a clean break and you put the two pieces back together, the seam is almost invisible? I had hoped that would be the case here, but it wasn't. No matter which way I positioned this piece, the seam was pretty visible. To keep the chip level while it dried, I angled a screwdriver under it and counterweighted. Here we are the next day, the mortar's dry, the chip seems pretty solid. To deal with that seam, I mixed up some unsanded grout that I had laying around. Unsanded because it can get into tinier joints. And I just worked that into the seam with my finger and wiped it off. The result is not perfect. From standing height pretty far away, it's not very noticeable, but definitely depending on how the light hits it or how close you get to it, you can see that the seam is still there. Because the grout didn't match very well, and I don't want to buy new grout, I found a can of gray paint that I had sitting around and just smeared that over top. With the paint on top of the grout, it actually blends pretty well, and you have to be at certain angles to see that there was a chip at all.